Hello, in this video we're going to be talking about loops. So what are they? In short, loops are a way for us to be able to repeat pieces of code without having to write things out over and over and over and over ourselves. A great example of when we might use loops is when we want to repeat an action, but we don't necessarily know how many times we want to repeat it. And even if we did know how many times we wanted to repeat it, we didn't want to write it out that many times. So a good example of this would be, let's say that we were creating a game and we wanted this piece here in the center to sort of bounce around our screen. Well, we would use a loop to achieve this, because without a loop, we could tell this piece to move forward. If we go to our motion, we actually have it's actually this first block right here called move 10 steps. And if we click this, we'll see that our arrow starts to move, but it doesn't continue to move. If we were to use a loop, we could repeat this action so that it keeps moving around on our screen. Maybe changing its direction every so often, maybe having it turn and move in a new direction, right? Those are all options. So under our control tab, similar to our conditions, we have a few options for our loops. And we have a forever loop, a repeat 10 loop, a repeat until loop, and then a for loop. So some of the main differences, forever loops are going to loop just like it says forever. There's no way for the loop to stop unless we physically stop our application using this red button up here. The repeat loop says we're going to repeat this action 10 times. So if I put this here, if we click this, we'll see it repeated it 10 times very quickly, and our arrow moved a much larger distance. If we have the forever loop on, we click this, it just keeps going forever and ever and ever. Let's stop this and let's put that right there. And then we also have the repeat until loop, and notice that there's another hexagonal divot very similar to our if-else block. That's because that's indicating to us, Snap is indicating that we want to put a condition there. So we are repeating until some condition is met or some condition is true. So for instance, if we were going with our weather analogy, we would repeat until it is cloudy, repeat until it is sunny. That is something that we could do here, is that we would keep repeating until some condition is true. All right, and then we also have this for loop. So this is very similar to this repeat 10 loop, but in addition to repeating it some number of times, we have this local I value, which is actually a variable that we could use in our application. For instance, maybe we wanted to print out the numbers 1 to 10. Well, in this type of loop, I is going to increase from 1, it's going to start at 1, and then increase all the way up to 10, increasing by 1 every time. And if we go to our looks, and we put, say, a say block here, we add I here, and we click this, we'll see that over time, it is going to increase from 1 all the way up to 10. So that's an example of how we might use a for loop. In our upcoming projects, we're going to be using these forever loops as well as these conditions to form the structure of our applications. So keep a lookout for those and try toying around with some of these ideas. Anyway, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.